Alright guys, welcome back to Mobile Mukbang. I'm Andrew.
Sam. Michael.
And joining us today, we've got Jeffrey. So we are finally at the last of the three pillars of bread restaurants here at Longhorn Steakhouse. Long time coming because we started out at at Olive Garden, and then we went to Red Lobster. It's been forever, but we're back.
Speaking of which, I went back and watched that episode. You started off as if it's the second episode.
I know. I don't know why I did it like that, but no growing pains. So this is the last episode of the season. So we're rounding it out, one episode per month. This is just kind of our pilot episode. And actually what I'm going to do, I didn't even tell these guys yet, but here's the dealio. If and when we hit 100 subscribers for the channel, I'm going to invest in a better 360 camera for this whole thing. So everyone that's been joining us for all this, thank you. But, so let's figure out what we're going to order, actually, now that we think about it, because we've been setting up the camera and all that. And these guys haven't been here. Have you been here, Mike?
I've never been alone.
What about you, Sam?
I don't think I have, but I feel like I have at the same time. I used to go to
Never in my life.
So I might be the only one who's been here. Me and Jason used to come here a lot.
Actually, you know what? On second thought, Jason's the one who brought me to Longhorn. Actually, I've been to Longhorn and I think Outback.
So
I used to go to Steakhouses all the time, so it wouldn't surprise me, but
it might have been Texas Roadhouse. I'm not 100% sure.
I don't know. It's possible. There's a few good steakhouses, but the one thing about this is the same company that owns Longhorn is the same company that owns Red Lobster and Olive Garden. So that's why we're ending the season with this episode. So I'm going to take a look at the steak options. So the nice thing about this menu is it shows you a picture of the steak and it kind of tells you a little bit about the steak.
And the levels of cookedness.
Indeed. I always try to go for medium just because it feels like, it's not cold. So it's warm and it's still kind of, a little bit red.
Personally, I would normally go for rare, but I had a weird experience where it was properly cooked, if you want to call it that, but due to the precise texture of that cut is something, I don't even really know what. It was almost like a bubblegum beef, and it was just really weird. It tasted fine.
What do you mean by bubblegum? That's an interesting choice of words.
I was chewing it for a very long time. I cut a small little piece, little maybe 3/4 cubic size, and my friend who I was at the steakhouse with, I popped it in my mouth, started chewing. He went to the bathroom, came back. I was still on the same piece.
Was it because it was just really chewy and tough, or was it just?
It wasn't tough. It was just
so chewy.
Yeah, like it was rubber, except it wasn't rubbery.
That's kind of hard to imagine.
I don't know. That's an interesting choice of words.
It's like those anger management balls. You can just keep on squeezing.
Like a stress ball?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound very desirable for a steak.
No, but here's the thing. It wasn't textured that way. It was still textured as steak. It flavored as steak. It was just non-stop chew.
That doesn't sound very pleasurable for a steak experience.
No, not really.
But speaking of steaks, I'm looking at this, and I think I might go for the strip steak. I'm not a huge fan of bone-in steaks because it feels like part of the weight that you pay for is the bone.
I mean, it is, though.
Yeah.
Because that's how they weigh it.
But you gotta remember, though, some of the best tasting meat is right next to the bone.
Some of it.
But the prime rib...
Slow roasted over 11 hours for
slow roasted overnight. So let's see, how much is a prime rib? For a 16 ounce is $25. Let's see, well, it's 16 ounces is a pound, right? 16 ounces is a pound, right?
Yeah.
So 25 for a pound. It's not often I come here. I might just get the 16 ounce prime rib because
Not necessarily
I like the texture. Now, one thing they do with some of the steaks is they put a lot of pepper and seasoning on it. I'm not a huge fan of seasoning that's spicy.
You can request it to be taken off.
Yeah, but some of them are just cooked with the dry rub on, so there's no option.
Yeah, that is true.
So it
with
really
the
depends.
prime rib, that might not be an option because they probably have a set recipe that they do for it when they put it on overnight.
It's possible. I'm going to ask about that when server comes back. But at least I have a good idea of what I am going to get. And with 16 ounces, that's pretty good. The T-bone is 18 ounces, and so is the outlaw ribeye.
That is bone.
Yeah, bone.
They have baby back ribs too.
Well, the thing about it is, I have ribeye all the time
Yeah?
when I cook at home. One thing I don't have is prime rib all the time. So when I go out to eat, I want to eat something that I
Good prime
don't.
rib is hard to come across in a lot of places.
Turkey so.
Yeah, that's true.
I've had a lot of
finding
I've
a
had a
good
lot
cook-
of bad prime rib.
Yeah. What I've been finding is I've been doing a lot of experimentation with marinades on like cheap steak. Now,
Yeah?
I've tried dry brining with kosher salt, and it does work. But getting all the salt off to make it not like taste like insanely salty can be a bit of a task. But I came across one method which involves pureeing. What is it called? Pineapple. Because the pineapple, the enzymes in pineapple,
Tenderize?
they eat away at the tendons, which makes it tender.
Over here, right?
Yep.
Mr. Food.
Okay.
With no rice.
Thank you very
And then I
much.
wrote down the burgers that we have. Let me show you.
All right. And I do have some questions. Yes, about steak. So I was looking at the prime rib. Now, is that like got a dry rub on it that's spicy? I'm just really sensitive to spice.
Yeah. I know it has like the pepper flakes that some people think it might be spicy.
Is it possible to have it without the pepper?
Let
is
me
it-
go ahead and add, I think they make it with
anything
pepper, but let me
about
just
it?
have to make sure, okay?
Okay.
Ooh.
Failing that, we'll just go from there and figure something out. But
Do they have Maker's Mark?
I know that
Yeah,
one's the one
they
that's
got
Maker's for a long
I would
time.
say,
Tennessee honey's good though.
yeah, it is. It depends on what you're gonna eat though.
I think it's shrimp.
Shrimp?
Ooh.
You're going with seafood at the steak joint?
I would say, probably
Tennessee.
Probably Tennessee or wild turkey. Personally, not a big fan of wild turkey, but it's not bad.
I've never had wild turkey though.
Yeah.
I've had Tennessee honey and Maker's Mark and Jim
I
Beam.
don't know what the Tennessee.
Tennessee?
Yeah.
Do you want a mixer for that?
Probably should.
Just Tennessee on the rocks or?
Screw that. I
He'll
don't
take
like
it straight with no chaser. Okay.
Yeah, that's
Tennessee
true.
United?
Oh yeah.
And then did you still want the Sprite no ice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Alcohol's not gonna last me forever,
No, it is not.
especially me.
Don't forget.
question for the prime rib was
Oh, is it spicy
Is it
with
spicy?
the? Yeah. Because if I can get it without pepper, that'd be awesome. But and then failing that, like, I guess what are some of the big ones? The outlaw ribeye. Got a bone in. It's 18 ounces. So I guess first, is the prime rib spicy, and is the outlaw ribeye spicy?
So are both of them spicy?
Yeah, because I would rather get the prime rib, but if it's got the spice on it, then I'll.
And like I said, I'm
go towards.
pretty sure they do make it, but with it. But let me just be sure, okay?
Okay.
I'll be right back. And I'll go with the Sprite no ice and the Tennessee.
All right. So, what did you decide? Are you gonna get the burger?
I don't know if I want to get the Big Sky burger or
Didn't you say we get free bread?
Yes, they do bring the bread. The bread will come out whenever it's ready.
Yeah, Olive Garden's is the one known for getting it.
Yeah, the breadsticks.
What
they
is
come out.
pilaf?
Pilaf. You don't know pilaf?
No.
I know pilaf, but we're not talking about Dragon Ball.
Or prime rib.
For a burger?
Either the burger or the prime rib. The burger is made from shaved prime rib.
That's really your call to make.
Quick note.
I mean, it would be an actual steak burger,
Yeah?
but it'd be ground steak instead of
It
ground
might
beef.
not be.
No, it's a burger. It's probably ground steak, not ground beef, but ground steak.
It says it's topped with shaved prime rib.
Yeah, so it would be thin slices.
Oh.
Or I can get the shaved prime rib sandwich, which is...
Well, when the guy comes back, ask a few questions and go from there.
But I know what I want for dessert.
Oh, you're getting dessert, huh?
It was right there in the sweet bites. The chocolate peanut butter jar.
Oh man, that does look good.
That looks like diabetes.
It does kind of, but I'm gonna tell you right now, the amount of calories you'll consume just from the bread and stuff alone, it's gonna be pretty high up there. Although that being said, you and calories are like this.
Or I can go for the key lime pie jar.
Do you want diabetes?
Ask that question.
I don't
And
know.
really think about it.
I mean,
I
I have
would
no
be-
reason to.
No, you don't. Your sugar intake is higher than most.
Well, it used to be.
Yeah, that's true too.
Oh.
My sugar intake is actually pretty low.
See, you say that, but the amount of hidden sugar in everyday foods is insane. Like,
I don't try and hide it in my diet.
No, you don't.
hide it. That's the main course. I mean, literally.
I really don't know what I want. I'm so indecisive.
I mean, it's pretty hard to go wrong.
I don't drink as much pop as I used to.
I don't know, those teas still have sugar in them.
Yeah. Granted, it's not like McDonald's tea, which, sweet baby Jesus, there's a lot of tea. Well, there is a lot of tea, but there's also a lot of sugar.
Would you like some tea with your sugar?
That's a
No.
question for him.
Oh,
Yeah, I've been drinking a lot of Arizona green tea. But you know what? I found out that it's also been curbing my hunger as well.
what?
Drinking the Arizona green tea.
That's because it's keeping your blood sugar high, and you're not having huge insulin spikes.
Yay, science.
Now, arguably, well, not arguably, objectively, soda has more sugar than the tea. But to be fair, Arizona tea is still kind of sugary.
It's also a syrup.
Well, yeah, it's corn syrup. It's high fructose corn syrup. But at least it's not like in a lot of sodas or like low-end sugary drinks where it's just aspartame, which...
They don't use aspartame anymore, actually.
Yeah,
They do.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah.
Have you seen the generic like Walmart brand flavor?
Oh,
thing?
well, maybe the generic brands and the other, bigger companies that make their own
bigger
brands.
companies, okay, to be fair, Mountain Dew, Dr. Pepper, and Pepsi you can get with real sugar now.
Yeah, throwback.
Yeah, well, Mountain Dew's the only one called Throwback.
No, there's Pepsi throwback too.
It's just called Pepsi, real sugar.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. But
Same company.
I will say this, the body definitely metabolizes the real sugar.
A lot
Like,
better.
I get really wired with the real sugar ones. The high fructose corn syrup is just something you could drink constantly, and
Well,
it doesn't
I have really bad crashes off of the high fructose corn syrup stuff.
No, but the worst is aspartame. Holy cow. The aspartame will get you, Whoa.
As he alluded to, though, everybody handles the stuff differently.
Yeah, but the thing about aspartame is it gets the neurons like so wired that it could damage them. That's the problem with it.
You do know what aspartame is, right? It's fermented E. coli.
It's fermented what?
E. coli.
Really?
It's made from E. coli, yes. If I'm remembering, it might be a different artificial sweetener. They might make it a different way now, but that's how it used to be made. It might not have been... let me look it up real quick.
Well, let Sam look that up. That'll be interesting if that's the case.
Well, they kill off the E. coli.
Is it?
And it's what's left over, if I remember correctly.
That would be
At least that's how they used to make
Either way,
aspartame.
aspartame is so strong.
And
You
so
need
bad for you.
very little bit of it to make it something sweet. But the way it messes with your body, it's like I can feel my brain jiggling.
Yeah, because it causes you to hold on to water.
Huh.
And
That's interesting.
it also has a problem where, it'll give you kind of like the satisfaction of sweetness, but without like killing the desire to have sweet stuff. So it just makes you want to keep coming back for more, and it never satisfies.
I used to drink Diet Right.
That's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
That is definitely a name I haven't heard in a long time.
Was there a regular right, or was it all just diet right?
Diet
What's up?
Right.
The E. coli thing is actually an internet myth.
Oh, is it an internet myth? See, it's been a long time since I looked it up.
I say that doesn't sound.
Well, I mean, in all fairness, there are things just as weird out there.
Yeah, there are.
Well, yeah. That's why it's like you take it with a grain of salt.
But
I mean,
Diet Right, it was actually full of aspartame.
Oh yeah, no, there's still plenty of drinks just like straight up aspartame. Like, you know those little like Splenda? Like those little Splenda things you put in like a bottle of water to give it like to turn it into like a fruity drink.
Yeah.
That's like straight aspartame with some flavoring.
I'll keep it under control, I promise.
just don't stand up. Like
For their reference, I'm not normally a family friendly.
For the sake of this meal, you are.
Oh, definitely. I've been doing a good job. Haven't swore. Haven't said anything vulgar. Haven't made a single mom joke.
Quick note, Jeff. On a side note, special for this occasion, do be careful about knocking and heavily setting stuff on the table.
Oh, okay. I've never
I
done
know.
one of these cameras.
I know. It's not something people are used to, so that's why I brought it up.
Unfortunately, our omnidirectional microphone is not shock-proof. So,
Hey, at least it's not Jason here.
Keeping him under control would be a different chore entirely.
I don't think we'd have that episode.
that'll be like
That'd be the
mobile
ob-
mukbang after dark.
Yeah. There you go.
Mukbang after dark could be bars.
We'll talk
Ooh.
about that some other time,
Ooh.
but
That actually sounds
Well,
like
because
an
there are a
interesting
lot
idea.
of like signature bars that are up in Chicago that are like known for their food too.
well, yeah, I mean, that's a gastropub at that point.
And yes, if you haven't figured it out by now, we are planning future seasons. But what those seasons are is totally between us.
That's true, because even we don't know yet. We haven't decided on anything. But
Yeah, that's right.
we just know it's going to happen. But this is, well, to be fair, this is the kind of content we don't do to just try and get views or subscribers. We do this just because it's fun.
Yeah?
It's legit the reason we're
So
doing
the
it.
seasoning does come on both of those already, and it's not too spicy, but like I said, some people think it is spicy.
Like, how do you quantify this? I don't know if, like,
Are you?
What is it- what-
pepper kind of spicy to you? Is
what can you compare the spice?
spice?
Quick
well, I mean, I like
interjection.
a lot of spice.
Can I get another coaster?
What was that? Another coaster? Yeah.
I got two
Okay.
drinks. I might as well get.
So, like, I know, it's like we had a waitress one time who was really good at like comparing spiciness to like common foods. I'm trying to think of like,
I mean, I wouldn't think it's spicy.
What do
It's
you?
like
Well, where do you think spicy begins then?
That's a good point.
Is it like jalapeno spicy?
No, definitely.
I mean, I can handle banana peppers.
Banana peppers aren't spicy.
I don't think it's as spicy as that.
Really?
Yeah.
Because banana peppers aren't spicy.
No, they're not.
Now,
So it's
if
bad
you have a
comparison.
lot of like cracked black pepper, that can get spicy kind of quick, just because it's a lot of pepper. But I don't know if there's.
But that's like a different kind of spicy, if that makes sense. It's not
Well, it's like
necessarily
it's not
casing.
like.
Oh, I was gonna reference the wing shot, but I don't know if that's the appropriate way to do it.
Well, you know what? If it's, I'm just gonna hope it's not too spicy.
I don't think it's going to be too spicy.
So in that case, I am going to get the 16-ounce prime rib.
What do you want that?
I would like that medium.
Medium, warm pink.
Yes.
Okay. And then for your sides,
What are the side options?
we have baked potato, sweet potato, mashed potato, fries, broccoli, and rice.
Sweet potato, is that more brown sugar on it?
There is brown sugar on it.
Awesome. Is it two sides or one side?
You can do two sides or a side and salad.
I'll definitely have the two sides.
Two
I don't
sides.
know who in the right mind would get the salad.
Yeah, I'll take
I don't know why you get the salad. That's like completely outside of your character. But
Do you want two sweet potatoes or a different?
no, the fries they're not. Are they like big steak fries or just like normal fries?
They're like normal fries, seasoned
Cool.
fries too.
Cool. Let me get the fries, but can I get them well done? Because I like a nice crispy fry. So I'm like, if I wanted soggy fries, I would just get mashed potatoes.
Yeah. And then about the
Can I get the what is it? Red Rock grilled shrimp?
Also, do you guys still get like free bread or whatnot?
yeah, I'll bring that right now too.
Cool.
Red Rock grilled shrimp, and then I believe it comes with one side, because I believe it comes with rice already.
Served over rice with garlic
Yeah.
butter. Can I go ahead and get that lobster loaded potato?
Lobster loaded potato. Yeah.
Ooh, this sounds good.
It does. All the seafood for me today.
I like lobster.
I actually have a question. The Big Sky Burger was ground beef with just a shaved prime rib on top, or
I believe it is the ground beef and the.
okay?
And I'll make sure too. Just.
No, I'm gonna go with.
Yep.
No, I'll just go with the Big Sky Burger.
Big Sky Burger.
Seems like your MO. The burgers.
Medium rare. Medium rare.
I just thought something funny about that.
And then side.
Oh,
Literally two sides.
See what you can do. We're gonna avoid that though.
can I get a?
It's funny though.
Idaho baked potato?
Baked potato. Do you want everything on there?
Yes.
Loaded.
Oh, you know he does.
And if it does come with a different side, do you want
Hey,
the
let me
other side?
see that inside again real quick.
if it comes
Let me
with a
check
second
what comes
side-
out of the lobster potato.
Oh. I do.
What's he looking for?
The little
If
inside.
it comes with a second side, it's rice.
Rice.
Thank you.
If it does.
Oh, sorry about that. Can I get the cowboy pork chops
Should be fine.
with a Caesar and steamed rice pilaf?
The steamed rice.
Pilaf.
What is a peel off?
We're gonna find out.
Because I have no idea.
Neither do I. That's all I'm getting.
I'll be right back. I'll get you another Mr. Pizza right there.
Thank you.
I'll get your coleslaw.
A bold choice, Jeffrey, to get something that you don't know what it is. Usually,
You should
Sandra
also
wild
ask
card.
about the
Here.
food, right?
A
Because
pilaf.
it has not come yet, and I don't see.
Oh, I did ask.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, he's gonna bring it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm a little spacey.
Here.
Borja tried calling me.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, it's his birthday.
We will make sure to give him a group call
After
all this.
Okay, a pilaf, a Middle Eastern or Indian dish of rice, or sometimes wheat,
cooked and stocked with spices, typically having added meat or vegetables.
That sounds delicious.
So it's the non-fried version of the fried rice you get at any Chinese place.
All right, bet.
Yeah, I'm nothing against anyone. I love fried rice. So
Yeah. Chicken fried rice.
Chicken fried rice.
Not all fried rice is made equal.
That is very true.
Some fried rice is just clearly better than others.
honestly, one thing I figured out though, so every place gives you that little box of white rice on the side. Sometimes there's a bigger box than others, but you get that little thing. And I don't know about other people, but the people I've been around, that always gets tossed out after 3 days.
Why?
Well, I mean,
I eat it all.
yes,
I love it.
a lot of people, though, if it's just plain white rice,
Yeah, I'll admit, I
it's
don't
not-
like plain white rice.
No.
but here's
I just
what.
had an idea.
Sushi rice is a little
Let me
different.
finish, and it's all yours. What I found is there's a traditional Japanese breakfast where you take plain white rice, crack an egg over it, and stir it up. And hell, he thought it was oatmeal.
You know, that's not a bad idea.
Nice catch.
But to be fair, yeah, we're going to go through this bread like crazy. All right.
So what's your thought, Jeff? Sorry, Mike. I was looking at Jeff when I said it. That's
All
why.
right.
I'm calling dibs on first shot at this.
Okay.
It smells
An
delicious.
experiment. Take the rice, put it in the fryer with like breadcrumbs.
I feel like that's gonna get messy, but I'm not against it. Yes.
I would almost rather, you know
So
how
breaded rice, pretty much. Fried breaded rice.
I mean, that's not necessarily how you generally fry rice.
No, fried rice is...
Quick reference, I have an actual drop fryer to cook stuff in, so that's what he's referencing.
Now, considering this is the last of the 3 pillars of bread, as we call it in the restaurants, this is the most plain-looking of the bread. Because obviously, everyone knows the Cheddar Bay biscuits at Red Lobster. Everyone knows the breadsticks at Olive Garden. But this is a steakhouse.
I
you
think,
do realize it's meant to be broken up like that, right?
I think
No.
technically speaking, the Olive Garden breadsticks are more plain. They are very consistent in color, shape, size, everything.
Well,
This is
the
not.
garlic breadsticks. The point is, it's still fresh, made,
Oh yeah.
in house.
Screw more bread. We need more butter. Yeah. Don't run away.
Is that pumpernickel?
I don't know what bread this is. I just know I like it.
It's bread made with yeast.
Well, gee.
Not all bread is made with yeast, sir. Pita bread is not.
Tack bread is not.
No, it is not.
There's
But
potato.
tack bread also has a bunch
No,
of
not
added
potato
minerals
bread.
and nutrients. Fun fact about tack bread:
Rye?
that they used to use rations in the Civil War.
Is it rye?
No, this is definitely not rye. This is
Yeah.
probably pumpernickel.
I distinctly remember an episode of SpongeBob where he asked the mailman if he had rye or pumpernickel. The food is finally here. We waited for
An hour.
yeah, well,
Now, yeah.
40 minutes around there. So it is now finally time to do the food roll call. I'll start us out. So I got the prime rib, I believe, right?
You don't even
The ribeye, the prime rib,
Prime rib.
prime rib.
Pretty bad we don't remember.
All I remember is it's really good. So this is a big.
Yeah.
I know. This is a big honking piece of meat. So this is a pound of meat on this bad boy. I am going to be digging into this hard. And I also got the mashed potato with brown, or the sweet potato with brown sugar. Now, Sam, you want to show the camera what you got? Because
Shouldn't be too difficult. This is mine.
I mean, you can hold up a stick for it.
I would take the butter cup off and then show it.
Assuming it's actually butter. But, yeah, so I got a dozen shrimp. They're all skewed, which is a bit of a surprise for me, but what you gonna do?
Probably how they grill it.
Yeah. It's sitting on top of rice, and then I got a potato with lobster added to it. A baked potato, sorry.
And then, Mike, why don't you talk about that incredible burger we're staring at?
I'm trying to remember what the name of it is. But
Sky Burger.
Yeah, the Sky Burger. They said ground beef.
Doesn't look like
That is not ground beef. It looks like
It's actually a steak burger.
a steak burger with shredded prime rib on it, onions, and then a loaded baked potato.
I will admit that actually does look way better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, same here. And then I got the pork chops. Just regular roasted pork chops, and then I got the rice pilaf. I can't really hold it up because
It's rice. All right, well, we talked about the food now. It's time to dig in.
Way ahead of you.
So, oh
shit.
man.
This has a kick. This has a kick.
Oh, it's spicy?
I wouldn't call it spicy, it's just got a kick. Like black pepper type kick, you know?
That's a good, tender, marbled cut right there. Well, this part is mostly fat on the end here.
That's the good part, though.
Not always. Sometimes in like lower end cuts, the fat is more like just chewy cartilage, and you just can't properly
So it's
chew
not
it.
actually fat. It's cartilage.
Well,
Actually, it is ground beef. Ground steak.
How's everything tasting? Everything okay?
yeah,
Delicious. Good.
Is it too spicy?
No? Okay.
good. Now I want to move this.
This is so tender, dude.
Oh, that was just perfect.
Yeah, I know.
That landed perfect.
He just pushed my knife off of the table, but it landed on its edge, so nothing. Give me a half a second, I'm gonna move it.
This is probably some of the best pork chops I've ever had.
Yeah,
Yeah.
real tender and juicy.
Oh. It's got a good amount of salt on it. It's not too much and it's not overpowering.
Now let's see how good they
And
got.
then the fat is actually really tender and it's actually fat. It's not.
Because, when I was looking at that, I couldn't help but think that must be dry, but I'm surprised.
No.
This
Now,
burger is very juicy.
this medium is actually medium, which is good. They got it pretty on the nose.
Yeah, they did.
It's not too, it's not real pink. It's not like fully all the way.
No, it's not, but you can see the coloration is really good, and it's got that tiny little pink spot probably
Yeah.
running through the
It's
center.
exactly the way the picture they pictured medium, because they illustrate. They have pictures on there of what you can expect it to be, and this is right on the money. Good steak doesn't even need the steak sauce.
Is there a spot to put this over? You put your fries here, maybe?
Put it right here.
Now, I will say this. I was worried about this being spicy. I'm glad to report it's not spicy. It's got spice. It's different. It's got flavor.
Oh man.
It's not like
Any kind of
capsaicin.
kick or anything?
No, it doesn't have like a hard kick or anything. It's got flavor, like a good dry rub should. But it's not like capsaicin.
Spices on the shrimp make the bourbon really kick.
Yeah. That's why me and Mike spent a little bit debating. Because it's supposed to complement what you're getting.
Oh, it's not a bad kick. It's just it went from being a push of flavor to a donkey cake.
Did it go from like Bruce Lee down to Jackie Chan?
No, I went from Jackie Chan to Bruce Lee.
Oh.
Try that.
If someone wants to try shrimp, they are welcome to it.
I'll try one.
Yeah.
That is actually a very juicy pork chop.
Jeff, would you like to try the shrimp?
Because that doesn't look like it's fried. That looks
It's
like
not
it's
fried.
grilled.
It is grilled.
Because normally, like when I have a juicy pork chop, it's fried, and the oils from the frying, give it its juiciness.
Well, I believe in a place like this. You know those flat grills that you see
Yeah.
in the back of diners sometimes? More than positive that's what they use in the back. Because I don't see grill lines, but it's like an
Yeah.
even sear across
Kind
the
of
whole
like
thing. And
they
it's
have
like
the way they would cook a smash burger.
I
A
think
flat
my
top grill.
burger. I think this actually has more of a kick. This has more of a kick than your shrimp.
Well, I'm glad I didn't get that then, because that sounds like it's going to hurt my mouth. But I am so happy that this
Come
is
on,
not
you guys
spicy.
keep setting me up for these jokes, and it's not fair. Like, I've been containing myself all the time.
Jeff?
Great?
Sure.
As much as I'd like to be that good guy and trade this beef or this meat, dude, this is a really good steak. Like, for a chain, the steak is off the chain. See what I did there?
Yeah.
This baked potato is amazing.
Got lobster in it. I hope so.
Yeah.
Man, that just makes a price tag high. But
Well, to be fair, certain lobster is just like flavorless. It's just kind of bland because, like, if you go to Red Lobster and you get the lobster, they're not pulling it out of the tank. It's frozen in the bag that they thawed it out in mass quantities. Now you can order the live lobster, and that's going to be very different. It's going to be way more expensive. But most of the time, when you order lobster at a place like this, it's not going to be a lot.
It also depends on what kind of lobster it is. There's Maine lobster, there's Canadian lobster. Canadian lobster is a bit more bland in terms of flavor because they're used to eating off of murky, muddy, brackish water like riverbeds.
One thing to keep in mind, there's a lot of places that will serve you lobster. It's not actually lobster. It's crayfish.
Really?
Yes, there's a certain type of, it's from the Chirax family. They get just as big as lobsters.
Really?
Yes, they originate, I believe, in Australia. I could be wrong. I was actually looking to think about getting one as a pet. But yes, they get massive for a crayfish. And these crayfish, they say the flavor is somewhere between a shrimp and a lobster. No, sorry, between a crab and a lobster. Is where it kind of sits in between the flavor-wise. But a lot of places will actually serve you crayfish instead of lobster. And just call it lobster because it's a lot cheaper. And most people are none the wiser because they don't know how to tell the difference.
do you know how to tell the difference?
I don't know if I've ever been served crayfish because I only recently found out that certain crayfish can get that big.
That burger was delicious.
Dude,
Where did
you
it
ate
go?
the whole burger already?
The messed up part is he nibbled to start with. We're gonna watch that, rewatch this, and it's just gonna be nibble, nibble, nibble.
Yeah, can we get a rewind on this? Because I swear there was a burger.
Literally,
there a
I
minute ago.
looked down for a couple of minutes to stop paying attention to you, Mike. And then I looked back and it's gone.
We wouldn't have noticed if you hadn't brought up that the burger is gone.
He didn't technically. He just said it was good.
Yeah, was. Not is. That is past tense.
Yeah, definitely past tense.
Still got a potato to go through.
Huh?
Is there a Pokestop here?
I'm about to check.
I don't think so. And Poco hasn't
Hey.
been going nuts.
Guys,
Yes.
since we all got 3 different times, well, us 3. since we all got different types of potatoes, I got the sweet potato, you got the lobster, you got the loaded.
Yep.
Why don't we talk about the potatoes for a second here, because my potato, I don't think this is brown sugar, it's some sort of other substance.
Cinnamon.
Well, let me see.
Cinnamon.
Is it cinnamon?
It's brown sugar and cinnamon, and then they put butter inside of it. Yeah.
It also said on the menu.
It's not as heavy brown sugared as, like, I think Texas Roadhouse has it, or would have had it. Is Texas Roadhouse still even? Which the one that went out of business near us?
Roadhouse.
Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah.
Ooh. You know what's sad is they still have the gift card for Texas Roadhouse that I can't use. I was saving it for a rainy day, and then they went out of business.
Did the whole
Frame
chain
it.
go out of business?
I don't know, but that's going to make a hilarious Christmas gift to someone.
This is useful as a Blockbuster card.
Hey, Blockbuster still exists in Alaska.
No, actually, there's only one more. I think the one in Alaska finally should come.
Everything okay?
Yeah.
Really good. So I think I forget it's.
on his face.
I don't know. I was too busy looking at the food.
He looked over at my plate like,
Well, yeah, we're all a bit shocked, Mike. Okay, so this doesn't have a lot of brown sugar, which is kind of interesting. I expected it to have more. So, Sam, why don't you tell us how that seafood potato was?
It's pretty good. Honestly, since the lobster's just sprinkled on top, basically, once you're through it, and it's just a regular baked potato. It's still very good. It's still buttery and everything else. I don't know if the butter. It does taste a little different, so I don't know if they use a different type of butter for lobster or something, or if it picks up a different flavor from the lobster. Oh, pardon me, I keep burping. But overall, it's really good. The shrimp's really good too. It's got a nice kick from the pepper.
I noticed your potato came in a boat, whereas ours did not. Like, what's the sauce in it that it's sitting?
probably the butter.
Is
Yeah.
it butter?
Probably the butter and the lobster sauce, yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
Okay, so there's definitely some sort of different kind of buttery goodness going on with that particular potato style. So then that just leaves you. So the loaded potato, how's that going for you?
Delicious.
A man of few words.
It's also about half gone.
I mean,
You know, I'm not surprised.
you're not saying much, so you must be eating.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a point to be made about that.
Yeah,
Now, I've got double the potatoes because I got French fries on the side.
we're not be sitting here waiting for Andrew to finish it.
You know, it's kind of funny. My family always told me I eat too fast. And here I am, compared to Mike over here, who eats like a starving third world country child who just got relief aid.
That's not third world country. That's you eat or your food's stolen.
Okay. You'll notice, though, with this, the cuts consistently throughout are the exact right way. So whoever cooked this did a good job. Now, I don't know, to be fair, if this place uses any sort of artificial dyes on their steak to make it look more red and juicy than it should.
Should be easy enough to find out.
Because I know, like, if you go to Jewel, they do that with their steaks.
If you get those glasses with the blue light filter in them, I know with ground beef, you can actually see the difference of the ground beef that has the red dye and what doesn't have the red dye.
Doesn't he have blue light filters on his?
No, it's the yellow lenses. Something about them, you can actually see the difference in the ground beef.
Also,
Are you
you guys
using
should
my
correct
napkin?
him because I think he combined your two checks.
He did.
Oh, yeah. I'm covering him.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why are you
He's
using
paying
my
me back.
napkin?
Because sharing is caring.
Okay, here's my germs.
You're vaccinated, right?
No, straight.
With sugar.
Okay, and vaccinating yourself with sugar
That's
sounds like the opposite of a vaccination.
Like quite literally the opposite of a vaccination.
I know it is.
That sounds like.
It's like taking the sugar pill instead of the actual medication.
See, some people
I've had
don't
so
bother
many
eating-
sugar pills.
Sugar pills? How about sugar jars?
I'm afraid if you stop eating sugar at any point, or have
Or
lose
sugar
access to it,
packs?
you'll go into shock from lack of sugar. That's what I'm
Clearly
afraid.
not.
Sam, your family's an anomaly. End of discussion.
Well, he's saying I should go into shock if I ever stop having sugar. I'll have you know, I've been on the same 30 pounds of sugar since I moved into life.
Like if you just cold turkey sugar, it feels like his body would just be
You'd
like.
think that.
So we are pretty much done here, which means it's time for the final synopsis. Our
Or
food.
not.
Your dessert will get its own little special time. But for the main course here, what we talk about is price to quality and quantity. Now, my meal, the 2 sides, and the full pound of meat was $25 before tax. Question: was it worth it? Yeah, it was. Without a doubt in my mind, that was actually a really good steak. I was worried that it would be spicy, like capsaicin spicy, but it wasn't. In fact, it was just good flavor. Just like it was not bland. It was tender, and they cooked it right on point. So for me, that's a big $25. They're doing it right here.
Yeah.
They're doing it good. What about you, Sam? What did you pay? And
Let's see here. The main portion of it was $17-18, somewhere in that neighborhood. Upgrading the side to the lobster one was an extra $2. But I'm glad I spent the $2, and the price for the actual meal was not bad. I was expecting something a little different on the shrimp, because it says it's jumbo shrimp, but if they're large, I don't know if I classify them as jumbo, but they are definitely much bigger than normal shrimp.
I would have to agree with that statement that jumbo shrimp normally is bigger than that.
Yeah. But they were good-sized shrimp.
They were about typical. Like if you compare them to a cocktail shrimp, they were slightly bigger.
Yeah.
Just slightly. But you got a total of 12.
Yeah, and that's what it called for, so I can't complain on that. And I did say that it was served on the rice, so that's all fine. Overall, I'd say I'm quite happy. The bourbon I tried for the first time went really well with everything, so I'm happy with that. And I've got no real complaints.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, then we're going to move on to Mike here. Since you always have the burgers,
You should have gone first.
that
Jesse,
was
for
actually
this.
an interesting looking burger. Why don't you tell us about it?
You know what?
I don't know.
for
Does he
15
remember anything about it?
Well, we were trying to figure out if it was ground beef or not. But
It was. It was ground beef.
Ground steak.
I don't know if it was ground steak.
Tasted like ground beef.
Yeah, it tastes like ground beef. But it had the chopped steak on top of it. Like long skinny slices of steak on top, which gave it a nice taste. The meal was $15, but it was I think it was like a $2 or $3 upcharge to have a loaded baked potato.
okay.
But it had the grilled onions on it, like when I had the Texas burger at Burger
Like
King.
caramelized onions?
Yeah, it had the caramelized
I love
onions.
caramelized.
The breaded caramelized onions.
Okay. Okay. No.
but it also had regular onions, red onion as well.
It's a good variety. I mean, onion goes good on burgers.
Well, that is very true. It does. But you know what? I say it was about with it. This meal being only $5 more. What the about $4 more? What the Burger King burger was? The Burger King meal? Yeah.
I mean, that's not bad.
No, for the added prime rib slices on it.
And
It's
I
worth
mean,
it.
it's good quality meat.
Yeah,
For sure.
it is worth it.
Okay. And then Jeffrey, your last.
Yeah, and while I will admit that it was cooked really well, they kept the juices in it and everything, I don't agree with the price of $17.29 because I know that pork is not that expensive. Pork is about $3.50 up to $4 per pound. Now these were 2 8-ounce pork chops. There's really no reason I'm paying $17 something, $18 with the tax and everything, for a pound of pork. There's no reason for that at all.
I think that's a perfectly fair synopsis, actually. Now, the cuts are good quality.
They are good quality cuts,
it
but
might be not completely fair to compare against like Walmart, but
it's
still.
no. I'm talking about like prime, like 1/4-inch trim pork,
Yeah.
where it only has a 1/4 inch of fat, because that's about what this had, if that. And even that, sitting at a higher end price, is still only $4 a pound.
I would also like to point out at this time of year is normally when pork prices go down. Which
Exactly.
is why McDonald's releases the McRib around this time of year. It's a seasonal item.
Exactly,
Which is
because it
actually
becomes
pretty good.
cheaper for them to be able to do it properly.
Yeah. So that's interesting. So you're
I
the
think it should have
outlier
been
here.
about $3-4 cheaper.
I
If I'm
figured
being
you'd
entirely
be the
honest.
negative Nancy. Someone had to
Well,
be.
it's not that it wasn't cooked really well. It was
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
good.
I mean, yeah, it was good. I agree. The little piece of gave me, but yeah, for the price, it feels like you should have gotten like a side with it.
Well, I did get a side with it, but it was that rice was the side,
Yeah.
and that wasn't very much.
Yeah.
That was the thing.
It was like a scoop of rice.
That was $2 on rice.
That was not $2 of rice. Rice is
Yeah.
way
Rice
cheaper
is
than
very
that.
cheap.
50 cents for rice.
Wow. Well, all right.
Eat quick and you can give us your review on that.
Now, that being
Let's see.
said, I have a little bit more insight into that kind of stuff because I do have a butcher in the family.
Chef. Chef bones?
Yeah.
Just got some rice. 2 should be fine.
Should be fine? Okay.
All right.
Here are the cuts. There's no rush, okay?
All right.
Can we have a box for the bread?
Oh, the bread?
Bread?
Let me get you, a bigger box, because I don't think... Let's punch it in, it'll fit. Or trade
It might.
We'll make it fit.
Yeah, we'll figure something out.
Pull that out.
I'll play Tetris with it.
This is Excalibur.
I sent the wife with the coupon, okay?
Yep.
And then you're done with your okay?
All right.
Damn.
And I think if you want to take this particular plate
But
away,
the coupon was online, so how would that work out?
Oh, there's a code. I saw the code on there.
Yeah.
And there's a code I punch in,
Okay.
and it goes right off.
all right, cool.
So he took care of
Right.
it himself.
Now let's
Okay.
look.
I also
I'm trying to get the smell. I was trying to smell this, but all I could smell was your bourbon.
Now listen here, Sonny Jim. Okay. That's...
I'm trapped.
Hold on.
There is a separate tax that's put on the beer, liquor, or wine.
Yep.
Did not know that, actually.
Yep.
But
How many
overall...
millions am I paying?
Huh?
How many millions am I paying?
57.78.
Alright.
Well, I want to say, just for the record, these fries are more spicy than the steak was.
Yeah.
Yeah, go right ahead. This has got some seasoning on it. These are seasoned fries.
Yeah, 17.29. It was only 70 cents cheaper than the shrimp. And shrimp is more expensive because it's going out of season.
Although those are really nice crispy fries.
Well, I asked for it well done, which I always do everywhere I go. Most places just don't cook it along.
Really good.
Yeah.
The peanut butter is just
too done
creamy
for me.
enough.
Too done for you?
Yeah.
I like a nice crispy fry. I think a fry should have a nice light crunch.
No, see, that being said, though, they have cooled off.
Which, by the way, if you get them extra crispy, they don't get as soggy as quick, which I think is a plus. Gives you more time to enjoy it.
I like soggy fries.
Oh, you're one of those people?
Yeah?
Oh, you're what's wrong with the world.
No.
No.
No, that pork price is what's wrong with the world.
I will give you that.
Question. Is that really $7 a penny?
That was $7?
Before tax.
No freaking way.
Yeah.
Well, that is something to take into consideration.
You could have gotten a third of a bottle for that.
I mean,
Well,
that's not uncommon.
It's the charge of convenience, I guess, being sit down.
Something like that.
But okay, so I think that kind of concludes our situation. I mean, you're working on your dessert here.
And
There could have been a little bit more peanut butter.
little more peanut butter.
And a little bit more chocolate chips.
Yeah, it wasn't as full as it looks on the picture.
No.
Well, it's free because of
Yeah.
the coupons, so you can't
And
argue
the
with
brownie,
that.
and the
How
brownie is
much
dry.
would it have been, though?
Like $3, $4.
No, I don't think so. I think it's more expensive than that.
$3.50.
Oh, $3.50. Oh, right on the nose there.
Okay.
Not bad. Your nose is expanding.
Anywho, so I think that concludes our episode. I mean, the main entrees on point, so except for yours. Yours, I think we can all agree, a little more expensive than it should have
Price
been.
was a little questionable on this.
Some extras, maybe, could have been more well thought out. But
Hey,
at the end of the day, I'm happy.
We're all
Oh,
adults.
I am too.
Yeah.
I was going to
So-
get alcohol. But you know what? I figured since I was driving,
That's a fair point.
and I got alcohol at home, so
All right, guys.
For not even half the price.
I just wanted to try bourbon. I think
So,
The thing is that that's not a bourbon. That's a whiskey. Everything that he gave you on there. It's a bourbon whiskey, I guess.
yeah.
could have
What?
brought that up before.
No,
Yeah,
well,
close enough.
that's as close as this place is going to get to a bourbon.
Yep.
well,
Is our bourbon whiskeys.
let's end this episode out with a toast.
Don't break
All right.
the glass.
And as always, thanks for watching, guys, and thanks for joining us on this little foodie adventure. We'll see you next season. Bye-bye.